Sean the Fortune Tip Top Realty here with the Real Estate Minute. Been a while since I've done one of these, but apologies for that. We've been quite busy with a couple of home sales, some closings, and of course, new listings coming up. We got some land in Colburn and a lease in Toronto, so busy in our industry is good. Speaking of our industry, things have changed since I've last done one of these things. Things have quieted down. Things have quieted down in Ontario, which I think has been a good thing for most. We've seen a nice little shift in the market where things are not quite as crazy as they were. We're seeing a lot less. Almost, it's gone from a 1090 to a 90-10 flip with regards to offers being held. We've seen price changes. We're seeing conditional sales. We're seeing more of an opportunity for buyers now to buy homes with due diligence and allowing them to make a more informed decision, which might suck a little bit if you're sellers, but I think it's better for the overall health of the market. Why have we seen this shift? Well, I think there's a few reasons. First and foremost, I think there's a little bit of fear with interest rates, which, speaking for me personally, I don't necessarily see that. I have to speak from my own background. When I first bought a house, 4.5% was considered excellent. That's what I had. And now I'm on a variable rate, and I think I'm still under 2. So for me, the fear is a little bit surprising, but I get it. And this is kind of what you look for the past to see the future, as they say. I think if you look in the past, there's been two little blips we've seen in 2009 with the financial crisis, in 2014 when the foreign home buyer tax was brought in. They often happen at the same sort of time, and we saw a summer of slow sales, if not going down. Once people wrapped their head around it, and once people understood that this wasn't as big of a deal, well, maybe not big of a deal, but it wasn't as much of a game changer as they feared, we saw things ramp back up again. And I think right now, based on that, based on the unsustainability of 50 to 60% home increasing in the last 2.5 to 3 years, I think people needed a break. I think there was mental exhaustion there. And I think we're kind of seeing that now. What does that mean for the future? I think we're also going to see, much like we saw in the past, once people do wrap their heads around the fact that this isn't quite as bad as they first thought, or just understand where things are, I think we won't necessarily see as crazy as it was, but I think we're going to see more of a significant pickup come September, October, maybe even a little bit earlier. Once things ramp up a little bit, you often see people, once you see sales going up, people all going up. We've seen in the past. So my thoughts are, and it's odd to say, it's actually a really good time to buy right now. Unlike last summer, unlike even in December and January, buyers have more power. Buyers have the ability now to insert clauses, have the ability to not necessarily go 200 over asking, have the ability to shop around a little bit and not have to make a decision within an hour of seeing a home. So for me, that's great. If you're selling, you just have to be a little bit more due diligent with how you present your property, how you market the property, and how you price the property when it goes to market. I don't think expecting bidding wars and significant over asking is fair unless your home is truly special. I think that the market is showing now that we need to price homes appropriately. We need to price homes for what they feel they're truly worth, and we need to maybe wait a week or two before we see a fair offer come in. And a fair offer will always come in if you price your home fairly. Sometimes our emotions get in the way of that, but I think that if you are selling, it's still a healthy market to sell in. It's not as bonkers as it was, but it's still healthy. And I wouldn't necessarily, if you had to rush to sell, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But if you didn't have to rush, I certainly would hold off just in case. The market is a little bit, as an example, there's in February, March, there was maybe 68 homes on the for sale in the area. Now we're upwards of 130, 140 homes listed in Northumberland. So that gives you an idea what supply is like. So if you don't have to necessarily list, I wouldn't run to do it. But I also wouldn't shy away from it. I just make sure my home is prepared the way it needs to be, marketed the way it needs to be, that your real estate agent is putting a lot of work in with regards to that, and spending a lot of money towards marketing your property as it should be. All that said, interested in buying and selling in Northumberland, I'd love to give you help. Text message 416-457-4173, email slafortune@tiptoprealty.com. Other than that, I thank you for watching the video and look forward to talking to you soon.